Hey everybody, this is Glenn from Highperformance PC at Cape Cod. Do a short little video here. Most of you know my wife Michelle.
Hello everybody.
Alright, the discussion for tonight's video is, I was watching they were talking about the new CEO for Microsoft, okay? And the direction that Microsoft is going. And, alright, now, like I'm a tech guy myself. My wife's not. What are you?
A nurse.
She's a nurse, right? You guys all know she's a nurse. Well, the ones that know her know she's a nurse for a living. All right, so she's not very computer smart. What was your very first computer that you can remember that you had?
What's the first computer?
Yeah, what did I have for operating system?
98 or 95, I think it was.
Windows 95?
Yeah.
Okay, and my first computer, most of you, a lot of you don't know, my very first computer was actually way back in the dark ages of before computers were just starting to come around. I used to have an Atari computer, which was all machine language. All right, so this little discussion here is to do with, well, first off, when you had your first computer, what did you really know about it?
Actually, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. So how did you get by with it? Did you slowly figure it out yourself, or did somebody help you?
I took a class.
And did it help you?
And a little bit, because all they did was the Word. All they did was the Word programs and the Works, Excel, and all that. Those programs.
So what about the basic part of the operating system itself? Like, did you learn how to move around on the desktop and like different folders and things like that?
Yeah, they showed us how to do folders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know a little bit about computers, but would you say any more than anyone else? Less than someone else?
At that time, less than most people.
All right. So you were like in the beginning stages.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've been together since 2006.
Right.
And I found you living way up in the corner of the nation, way up in Alaska, and you had a computer then, and you had a Dell, and it had Windows XP. So at that point, how are you navigating around with that computer?
But with the Dell?
Yeah.
Better than I did with the Windows 95.
Okay. So you can kind of get yourself around a little bit in desktop mode. You know where you go, and you know where your folders are, things like that. But if I asked you to go find me Device Manager, could you find it?
At that time?
Yeah.
No.
No? How about now?
Now I could.
Okay. Because I've taught you some things along the way.
Yeah.
All right. So from 95 to now the not the very latest, but the system before what you have now, you had Windows 7.
Yeah.
And you have no problem navigating that. No, obviously.
No.
You know everything was.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is where the question comes in. All right. Now you have Windows 8.
Yeah.
How do you compare Windows 8 to all those previous operating systems? Are you having a problem navigating around?
No, I find it easier.
You find it easier, okay?
Because you just click on one thing, you know, and it's right out in the open. You don't have to click on the circle to go get the.
All right, so you don't have to click on the start button
right
to bring up your little box that had documents, music, pictures, videos, control panel, computer, all that. So you find it much easier in Windows 8?
Yes.
Okay. What other ways do you find things easier in Windows 8?
What other ways?
What about the new start screen? How do you like the new start screen compared to a start button with a little box that came up? Do you find that easier?
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
You're not having any problem figuring out? You know what the apps are all about. You know how to use the apps.
Yeah.
You know how to get into the store and download.
Yeah.
All right, so you find it pretty easy then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Well,
okay.
plus you showed me some of them.
Some, I showed you some.
Yeah.
But you figured out some yourself.
Yeah, because you played around with it. I played it, you know.
And you do have a Windows phone like I do.
Yeah, and that helps too.
And that helps. And how are you navigating on a Windows phone? Because I know you've told me in the past you've tried to use someone's iPhone and compare this Windows phone to an iPhone.
Yeah, because the apps aren't live.
Okay, what else? Did you find the iPhone easier to use or harder to use?
A lot harder.
A lot harder. In what way?
Well, you don't have that, you know, to make a phone call, you have to go into that.
Like
My friend, when she goes into hers, she's got to do she has a password and a username and a password just to get into it.
Oh, really? To unlock to make a phone call?
Yeah.
All right. So if
It doesn't make it quick, you can't let it just sit there. Oh, we're gonna make a phone call quick. This one, I can make a phone call really fast.
so, in other words, like if she was walking down the street and somebody mugged her, she'd have to put her username and password, if she can remember at the time because she's nervous and scared to
Right.
dial 911.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Because see, now I myself have never used an iPhone. I've never picked up one, never looked at one. She's the only one. I can't tell her anything about iPhones because I don't know anything about them
I didn't
myself.
like it.
So you heard it for yourself from someone that's never used one before, and so it really is harder to use an iPhone.
Yeah, I couldn't. I had to keep asking her what a password and.
So what she's referencing to is on our phones. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a large live tile right here, which has a picture of an old hand telephone from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You know, you picked it up and you, hello? Oh yeah, hold on a minute, let me get my mother for you, right? So you just click this and it takes you right into where you can make your phone call.
Right.
So she has to put in a username and password.
Yeah.
Now maybe you have to set it up for that, I don't know, I'm not,
She must. She must have had to because it's something that she put in there.
okay. And what about usability? Because I know you've played around with an iPhone before, and was it harder, about the same, or easier to use than a Windows phone?
Well, it was harder because all the icons are there, but I didn't know how to get into them, so I didn't even.
So you didn't even try?
I
Okay.
forget it.
And of course, we know no such thing as live tiles. The live
It
tiles
wasn't
don't
live,
exist.
Yeah. So I tried that and it didn't work.
Okay. So, and now, to compare this to Windows 8, do you find that they work really well together?
Yeah, especially if you have an appointment.
Yeah.
If I have an appointment and I get on my laptop, all I have to do is go into the calendar at MSN, if you have MSN, and then put in the appointment day and time, and it will come right on my phone. So
Or you can go. Now you do remember there was a calendar app on your start screen.
Okay.
I know you use the MSN Premium.
Yeah.
See, that's okay. I don't want to get you guys confused because she mentioned an MSN. We have. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but back in the early 2000s, when dial-up was around, everyone out there, do you remember dial-up? Of course you do, because it was slow. You couldn't watch videos.
Thrown off of it.
You could get kicked offline. You had to re-sign back in. You couldn't listen to music. You couldn't watch videos. You could view pictures, and you could maybe do like a chat session with somebody, like with Windows Messenger. You could type back and forth. That was about it. But you couldn't do any kind of videos or anything like that. So she's referencing to what they had was the MSN dial-up, but now they have dial-up and they have what's called MSN Premium. It's the same thing as dial-up. The only difference is it's not dial-up. It uses your broadband connection. So when she's saying she goes to her calendar on MSN, she opens up her MSN Premium, signs into it, and goes to the calendar. Now on Windows 8, you do have a Windows calendar right on your start screen. You probably never noticed it because
Yeah.
you use the other apps and you never noticed. It's the same calendar. All across the board, whatever you have for a Windows calendar, it all works together.
Yeah.
Okay. So like when you go to your doctor's appointment, like today we went and you had to punch in. So you went into your Windows calendar and you punched in your appointment of when your next appointment's going to be.
Yeah, on the phone.
And
Yeah.
on the phone. Then you came home, you can go right to your calendar and find it on your calendar, correct?
Yes. It will be
Okay.
there. Yes.
So all across the board, then you would say that this platform works well with Windows 8. They've integrated
Yes.
them pretty good together, but they still need some work. We know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as your stuff on Office, you can access your Office stuff
Yeah.
on your phone that you've done on your laptop.
Yeah.
So that's really good. So it's good that way. Okay. All right. So you find the Windows Phone really easy to use compared to an iPhone. Have you ever tried an Android phone? Has anyone ever had you pick up their Android phone and try to do something with it?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So you're like me. I've never tried an Android. So we can't compare it to an Android because she's never tried one. you know, if somebody wants to hand me their Android phone, I'll play around with it and, you know, see what I think about it. But all in all, we think the Windows Phone ourselves is a much easier phone to use.
Yeah.
Plus, we have the live tiles like we do on Windows 8,
Right.
which has, now all you people have a notification center. We do too, but it's not the same as yours, because you have an area where you go to that has a box with your notifications in it that shows how many phone calls, how many text messages, how many emails, how many, you know, whatever is in the notification center, Facebook, things like that. Whereas on our phones, each one of, I don't know, see, you might be a little too far away to see this, but each one of these tiles on here are live, and each one of those has its own notification, like, you know, like we have what's known right here as, originally in Windows Phone 7 it was called a Me tile. I'm not sure if they're still calling it that, but it's the same thing. And what it does is, if we go to a Me tile, we can post an update to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter all at the same time.
Yeah.
With one simple message, we can do that. Same thing with a photo. We can share a photo right from the photo to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, all in one shot. You can choose where it goes, and it's real easy. So, you agree the Windows Phone's really easy to use?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the other question I have is about Windows 8. It's real easy to use. Let me ask you this. Thinking about today's technology, do you think Microsoft should continue on a path of staying traditional, or should they be looking into the future and being technological and advancing, coming up with new things and new ideas?
Yeah, I would say having new ideas, because the alternative of being traditional, then they'd be left at the wayside, because all these other companies will pass them by.
Okay, and then what would happen in the end if they stayed traditional?
They could disappear altogether.
Okay, so that's my thoughts too, is Microsoft is heading in a direction that they need to go because of not only Apple and Google, but there's a lot of other companies out there that are innovating at the same time and coming up with new technologies. Like, now you guys, a lot of you guys may have an iPhone or you may have an Android, and you see all the new things that are added to that all the time, like we do with our Windows phones. I know Windows phones are new and upcoming because they have Windows Phone 7, but they didn't market them right. Now they're starting to market the Windows Phone 8 devices a lot better. They're throwing ads on TV. They're advertising them a lot better. They're doing ads on YouTube where you can go watch the latest Microsoft video on YouTube to see the latest new phone and how they advertise it. So they're getting better, and they are marketing these phones right, and they're pushing in the right direction, is what I'm trying to say. So you really agree that Microsoft is headed in the right direction?
Yeah.
With what they've done, as far as now they have the Xbox One, which now is headed in the direction of Windows 8. Because I don't know if you've seen it or you haven't seen it.
No, I
but
haven't seen it.
She's not a gamer. I'm not a big, huge gamer. Our son, if he was here, he's down gaming right now. That's his thing. He's a gamer, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's all he does.
Hardcore gamer.
Hardcore. He does that all day long on his PC. So they started to add apps to the Windows, to the Xbox One. They almost didn't put a drive in it because eventually DVDs are going to be gone. You're not going to see DVDs anymore. Everything's going to be downloadable. And I think what they're pushing for is towards having a major game like Grand Theft Auto or a Dead Space 4 or 5. Any one of the big major games that you would find on a disc. I think eventually you're going to find that in an app form. Which right now they've already got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which at the time that came out back in the 2000s, that was a hardcore game at the time. It required a lot of hardware and a lot of graphics. And the Grand Theft Auto series has gotten even more. It's even more demanding on hardware and graphics now. So I think that's what they're pushing for. So you definitely agree that technology is the way to go. That they should definitely be following like Apple, Google, and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So go back to Windows 8. So you're finding Windows 8 to be really easy to navigate for you?
Yes.
You're finding things on your own. You're not coming to me and saying, how do I do this? How do I do that?
No.
So then you really like Windows 8, and
I do,
actually,
yeah.
what about since they upgraded from 8 to 8.1, do you think that the change was good or bad? Did you like Windows 8 better? Or are there some things in Windows 8 that you liked better that they changed in Windows 8.1, or do you like 8.1 overall better than Windows 8?
Windows 8.1 is fine. The change wasn't the change. You have to sign into everything now. But
well, no, it's signed in. It's signed. Everything's signed in like when you
MSN, I have to.
Yeah, you have to sign into your that, but that started back with Windows 8.
Oh, okay.
It's the new change in a direction that I don't know if you people have noticed, but it's a new direction that Microsoft is going now. With our MSN Premium before, as you remember, what did we have to do? You signed in once.
Yeah.
And you had to remember. You had to remember your username and password.
Right.
So what did we do? Nothing, correct?
Right.
We just click sign in.
Click box, yeah.
The butterfly flapped his wings,
Yeah.
and online we went. We didn't have to do anything else.
Well, the butterfly still flaps its wings,
Right.
but you still have to sign in.
But now, all right. So tell everybody that now. So now, what's the change they did with the MSN Premium?
Well, now you have to sign in with your MSN password
Every time.
every time,
Right.
and then you go to the box that has everybody's listing of
Of each email address.
each email address,
and you choose
then
the one you
see the
sign in.
butterfly flapping.
Right. So you click on your email address.
Yeah.
It comes up asking for your password. You
Right.
sign in, and then
Yeah.
you click OK, and it flaps its wings and takes you online.
Well, yeah, because I didn't click my person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Microsoft has made some changes that way, but what other changes do you think that they made in 8.1? Do you like some things in Windows 8 that you don't like in 8.1, or do you like 8.1 over Windows 8 altogether on the changes that they made?
I don't know what the changes were.
Well, some of the changes, they did change where you can default to have it go to desktop directly when you start up your computer. You can default to go directly to desktop.
Yeah, I just keep it on my
So it goes to your start screen?
start screen, yeah, I just keep it on that.
Okay, what about they did make a change, now when you go to the store, remember before you had to do updates yourself?
Oh,
and it
right,
showed-
yeah. I'd rather,
Because now it's an automatic,
Yeah,
so you don't have to touch the updates. Do you like that better? Do you think that's a better idea that you don't have to look at it, it'll just update your apps in the background?
yeah, because a lot of people are going to forget to update. Even though the number's there, it tells you how many, or it did tell you with the old one.
You were being lazy and just not going in to do it. Oh, I'll do it later, I got something else to do. And before you know
I do it, but a lot of people didn't. Because I had friends that I had upgraded
Did
to
they even know
8.1. No, they didn't know that
they didn't know what those numbers were for?
No, they didn't know that they were supposed to update. So then I had to update all their, their apps
Right.
before they could. I said, no, you gotta update. You gotta.
Now, what about the Charms bar? Do you use that at all?
Sometimes
And what do you use it for?
the charms.
Yeah.
One of the things I have to use the charms for because our internet keeps going out.
Oh, so you're reconnecting.
Yeah, reconnect.
Like, what about the share? The share charm, do you ever use
Yeah,
that?
I did. I've used that after you told me how to use that.
Okay. Because I had to show her that because
Yeah,
she wasn't sure exactly what some of the charms do.
yeah.
And after I showed you, do you find that really convenient? To be able to share something with that charms?
Yeah.
In what way? What have you used to share with? An email? Something to Facebook?
Yeah, mostly photos and
Mostly photos?
yeah.
Because you know that if you go on, like, say, you go to your SkyDrive, you open up SkyDrive, you open a photo, you know that you can, from SkyDrive, you can bring out your charms, and you can open the share, click on share, and you can
Yeah.
share that photo. Is that how you've done it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you find that a lot easier?
Yeah, it is.
Then going to Facebook, and then clicking photos, and then look for a photo you want to share. Now you like it better going into your SkyDrive, and finding a photo that way, and then
Yeah.
sharing it that way?
It's a lot easier. I don't have to go through as many steps.
Okay. So you really like Windows 8.1 then?
Yeah. Yeah, I
And-
like it better.
So what changes you have noticed you liked it better than what it was in Windows 8?
Yeah.
And you like Windows 8 a lot better than Windows 7?
Oh, yeah.
Or XP or Vista?
Yeah.
Or, what did you think of Vista when Vista came out?
What, that circle?
Yeah!
They
The
kept
Windows
going
era,
around?
kept going around and couldn't decide what it wanted to do?
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you know, I look at it this way. Vista was okay for its time. Microsoft had to do what it had to do. You know why?
Because they were working on
that was their very first beta, not
Okay.
better,
But-
beta, B-E-T-A.
Right.
It's a better operating system. That introduced them to the world of when you hovered over on your taskbar, like if you had, let's say you had a folder open, let's say you had your photos open, right? And you had a little folder on the bottom that was your photos. When you hovered your pointer over that, what did it do? It opened up a box where you could see what was there. What did it do? Do you remember what it did in XP?
in XP, what that did?
When you hovered over that same little folder?
No, I don't remember.
Nothing. It brought up a little tiny thing about that wide, and it said photos. That's all it said.
Well, I
It told
haven't
you-
seen that.
It told you what you were in. It told you in photos. When Vista came out and you hovered over that same folder, now it brought up a nice square little box, and if you had a photo open, you could actually see that photo in that box. Like, oh, that's what I was doing. Okay, then you can click that, and it'll bring it back up to full screen so you can see it, or bring it up to, not maximize but minimize, so it was a smaller box, whichever you had it on.
Right,
It
yeah.
brought it back to that original state. So they really had to do what they did. Vista was, I know you people think Vista was a flop, which you're kind of right. It did get better towards the end with all the updates.
Yeah.
And Vista not run too bad.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Compared to other operating systems.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It did get better towards the end. Alright, so Windows 8, 8.1. So you really like the 8.1 experience then?
Yeah.
You're looking forward to Windows 9?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be even better than what we're seeing now?
Yeah.
Do you hope that if you use the charms bar enough, do you hope to see that continue?
Yeah.
Because I really do. I really like, I don't know what you people think, but I really love the charms bar.
Yeah.
Yeah? So your overall experience with Windows 8 has been 1 being bad, 10 being best.
Yeah.
Somewhere, where would you put it?
Yeah, I put it at 10.
You really,
Yeah.
You
And
really
even
do?
my mother puts it there too.
now that's another thing, okay. Now, Michelle's mother has never had a computer in her life. What was it, about 2 years ago?
Yeah.
She got a computer for the first time,
Yeah.
and had Windows 7 in it.
Yeah.
And what did she say when she got it?
What did she say about it?
Yeah.
Well,
Did she say she loved it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because she got to look up all stuff. She loves researching and looking up things,
like you do,
like I do.
because
Yeah.
you're a nurse, and so I know you like to research nursing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You're always
Even
watching YouTube
videos,
videos, watching
Nursing
nursing
videos.
stuff. And I don't blame you, you know, you're like me, you got to keep up on the latest technology for what's going on in the medical field, whereas I have to keep up on what's going on in the latest things in the Microsoft world. Because, you know, you guys that are watching this, if you know me, you know that I'm a Microsoft freak. I love everything Microsoft.
Yeah.
Can't stand Apple, don't want nothing to do with Google. Google can just go out the window as far as I'm concerned. I have no use for them either.
Yeah. It even says Windows 8 on there.
Yeah.
Everything says Windows 8, and you.
Now, what
on
happened?
there.
We gave your mother. What did we give your mother the Christmas before last? What did we give her?
Yeah, we gave her Windows 8.
And how did she like Windows 8 compared to Windows 7?
Oh
Being
my
new
God.
to a computer and never used one before.
She was like an old pro at it.
She was blown away though, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she couldn't believe she could do it. She just played around with it and was having a blast with
So
it.
now, speak to these people out here that are watching this
Yeah.
video.
And
and what do
she's
you-
in her 70s, and she, you know.
So what do you have to say for these people that they don't like Windows 8, they want Windows 7? What are you going to say to them?
Just fool around with it. Take the Windows 8 and just play around with it. You will like it once you play around with it.
You know,
Give yourself time to do that.
Do you-
Experiment with
do
it.
you agree with me? Do you think people should give Windows 8.1 a chance?
Yeah. And if they need help, they can always ask you.
Well, yeah, you can all remember, I'm the computer guy right here. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Skype. You have no excuse to get a hold of me right here. I'm the guy that can help you with your questions and answers to Windows 8 and 8.1. If you're running Windows 8, go into the store and do yourself a favor. Go download 8.1. It's right in the store. When you pop open the store, you can't miss it on the left-hand side. A big old box that says upgrade to Windows 8.1. It's free. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Listen to her. She's not a computer tech or a whiz. She's a nurse. She knows really nothing about computers except for what she's learned over the years herself, which is not a lot. And she'll ask me questions and I help her out. Then she still gets a little confused and she figures it out herself. So listen to now you can call her an expert because she does really well with it on her own, right?
Yeah.
And you really like it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, there you have it. My wife, now computer, I wouldn't say expert, but she's getting good with it. And you heard it for yourself from someone that was never a big computer person, still isn't.
No.
And she really likes the Windows 8 experience and now 8.1.
Yeah.
And she's learning how to use it on her own.
Yeah.
She very rarely has a question for me unless something's not working properly. Like earlier, she's trying to find her resume because she's doing some job applications and trying to get into the external drive and couldn't get in, so I had to fix that for her. That's something she couldn't do. She has to bring that to me.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to that stuff, that's my job in the household. And when I get sick, that's her job in the household, is to take care of the expert, to make sure that I'm well enough to be back up and around and make sure the computers are running, correct?
Yeah.
So, there you go. Talk to my wife. She's telling you're telling everybody, give Windows 8.1 a chance, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to tell them, be ready for Windows 9?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good, because, I tell people every day, and at times I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Don't get me wrong, Windows 7 is a great operating system. For a desktop operating system, Windows 7 is just fantastic. For what it is, it really does work well compared to Windows Vista. They compare it to XP, and I don't know, I think Windows 7 is in a class by itself. I think it outshines the rest. But you know what? Doesn't Windows 8.1 outshine all of those systems all the way back?
It does, and you can take your tiles. You can do what you want with your tiles. You can group them together. You can make some smaller and some bigger. I think that's great.
And the live tile experience is really great. Don't you love you can just...
And you can see it better. I can see it better.
Well, yeah, and same with me, because I have eyesight problems, and I have a hard time seeing the screen at times, and I find that having those tiles is great. I can see them. Yeah. Like now, I have magnification on my mouse, so I can magnify the screen, full screen magnify. When I'm on desktop, a lot of times I have to magnify it. But when I'm on my start screen, do you ever see me magnifying it?
No, you don't have to. And they're color coordinated too, because they're all different colors.
Yeah, they're all different colors, so they're not all the same color. And
you say, oh yeah, that's my app for the bank, or that's my, because it has all the logos of each thing.
And one other thing that you probably will agree on is, don't you love how when you look at the weather app, you can see the temperature without even going into it?
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's right on the outside. That's another thing about the apps. They'll have things right on the outside.
Same thing with our Windows phones. Like if I pull up my phone, and I go right here to my live tiles, and you won't be able to see this, but right here, this blue tile that's open, that is my WeatherBug app, and right now it's showing that it's 30 degrees out. And if I click, and I go into WeatherBug,
16.
now if you take a look, we'll let this open up, oh, it's 30 degrees out. So the outside of the tile is not lying to me, it's telling me it's 30 degrees out.
Yeah.
If all I'm interested in is the temperature and not the forecast, then there we go, it's right on my live tiles telling me 30 degrees. And they are tiles that do flip. If you watch those tiles, they'll flip, and sometimes they'll give you more information besides just like the temperature.
Yeah, it might say flurries or smoke hours or rain.
It might give you actual, a little bit of a forecast, or whatever the tile case may be. It may not be the weather, it could be a news tile and maybe giving you, like latest news and things like that.
Yeah.
So, last but not least, so you really like the Windows Phone as well as the 8.1 experience.
Oh, yeah.
They get better all the time with these?
Yeah.
And what about the camera that's in your phone?
I was just gonna say something about the camera. I love the camera. So, and the cinemagraphs.
Yep.
Those are a blast.
All right, and one last thing before we get out of here. I did a survey earlier on Facebook, and I'm waiting to get people to respond to it and things like that. My survey was, what do you use your phone mostly for? Photos, taking pictures, or using the apps, or using it for both? A combination of both.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
You know what I use it mostly for is actually texting.
Texting, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Most of the time.
Most of the time it's texting?
Yeah. But I will take pictures, like if something comes up.
Yeah,
You know,
like
if it's quick, oh yeah, I can just whip out my camera and take
and and speaking of that, what's the nice thing about these Windows phones? As far as the camera goes.
Well, besides the location of it, you can just take your camera, you can just take it and go like this and touch it, and it will bring the camera right up. So you don't even have to go into anything to open it. You can just take a picture right from.
So you're talking about right here on the top, you're talking about the dedicated camera button.
Right.
Great. It is really a great feature. I know.
And you don't even have to open anything. You
guys don't really, because for those of you who don't have a Windows phone, if you didn't know, you got a dedicated camera. You got right here on top, you have your volume up and down. That's your power button. Turns it on, turns it off. And right here, this last one on the end, is a dedicated camera button. Watch what happens.
It doesn't even have to be on. You just
I hold it down,
camera.
and look what happened. It opened my camera right up, and now I can just snap a picture just like that. So, let's say you're outside and you see something and you want to grab a picture of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got an iPhone or an Android phone, you have to go find your camera app. If you don't have it right handy, right where you can get at it, you got to click that app to get into the camera. Whereas we can just dedicated camera button, hold it down.
Yeah.
It turns the camera right on for us, and we're ready to snap a picture. So you find that really easy?
Yeah, because a lot of times, like with the dog, there's something cute, you want to get it fast.
Right. What about the apps? You using a lot of apps?
Oh yeah, I use the apps all the time, and then I go look for more apps.
So your main thing is texting, but you do use it for picture taking and for downloading apps and using apps.
Yeah.
And what kind of apps are you using?
What kind of apps? I have some medical apps.
Oh really?
Some of those, yeah.
So you found some medical apps in the store?
Yeah. There's one on the anatomy and physiology. I found one of those.
Oh really? That's really helpful?
Yeah.
Really? Nice.
So that way I can just learn it a little bit as I go. If I'm sitting there, I've got downtime, I will use it.
Oh great. All right. So you're saying then, yours is, for the most part, is texting. And I didn't put that in my survey. I should have asked people if it's texting, or photos or apps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. So that's it, I guess.
Except while driving.
Oh, what's that?
No, I says except while driving. We have the text to
speech.
Yeah, I use that.
We use it. We have a Pioneer radio in both cars. One of them, the microphone's not working. The other one, it is. The main car that we drive all the time, the mic's working. So we're using the speech to text while driving because we connect our phones directly to the Pioneer through Bluetooth, and we text that way. So we're hands-free, hands are on the wheel while driving, and we can text and not take our hands off the wheel.
Right, yeah.
Great, so I guess that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted you to hear from someone that is not a computer expert or anything like that. No. She's a nurse by trade. She's an LPN going for RN and eventually nurse practitioner, and who knows, if she likes it enough, she might even decide to go for a doctor.
Yeah.
Don't know, that's up to her.
Around, yep.
It's not that far around after you become a nurse practitioner. Doctor's the next step. So that's up to her. But anyway, so there you have it. I'm the Computer Guy. Get a hold of me on Facebook, Highperformance PC of Cape Cod, my Facebook page. Twitter, it's Highperformance 13, I believe. And then it's Highperformance 13 on Skype, I believe. I'm on LinkedIn under my name of Glenn Weaver. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm all over the place, so
Yeah,
if you have a computer problem, I'm the guy to come to, right?
yeah.
And right now we're sitting in my
Office.
business, my office slash business.
Yeah,
This is where I do all the magic behind you here. I'm working on a laptop. This is where everything happens on the bench. I'm going to put another bench over here in the corner. I need a second bench because, you know, I need more room to work, and I need one for desktops, one for laptops, tablets, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to be buying the same bench I have is going to go over here. I'll pick up another bench. I'll get that put together, and I'll have another bench in here. So please bring me your work. I'm busy, but I can squeeze you in. Just ask my wife.
reasonably priced too.
Yeah, the price is not bad. So, or if you want a new machine, desktop, laptop, I build desktops. I can get you a decent laptop for a good price. Ask her. You know, I sell some good products here. You know, I try and steer you in the right direction to get the best value for your money, and you know, I won't rip you off.
No.
All right, well that's it. This is Glenn from Highperformance PC and Cape Cod. This is my lovely wife Michelle. Thanks for being on my show, and I just want all you people to hear from somebody that's not an expert that can tell you how good Windows 8.1 is. All right, so see you everybody.
Bye, everybody.